today on this tutorial, I'm going to use a serum infused foundation. So this is going to give hydrated, bouncy, flawless, gorgeous skin. If you guys are needing a color match for this, you can comment a purple heart and I will work with you and get you a obviously free color match. Okay, so drop a purple heart. My foundation Flawless 4 bundle is on sale. You get a face primer, foundation, concealer, and a setting product, 25% off. You can also get my creamy blush sticks, which are back on the website. These sold out during Black Friday, so it is a all-in-one cream stick. You can use it on your lips, eyes, but I just use it for blush. There's 4 different shades for that. My kabuki brush is on sale, so if you'd like to add that to your Flawless 4 bundle, this is a part of the sale. Bronzer, highlighters, all foundations, 25% off. Okay, so first to get started, I just need to get you your color match. So you'll drop a purple heart. I am going to go to Facebook really quick just to make sure that you can see my face because I have 2 phones going right now. Is that Dan? Dan is texting me. We're going to go get food truck. So we get food trucks in our neighborhood, which is really fun. But today, for some reason, the food truck is from like 9. Okay, you can see me. Our food truck is from like 9 to noon or something, or 10 to noon, the food truck, and it's lunch. So Dan and I were like, why are they doing that so early? Anyways, it's neither here nor there because we are still going to go and eat it whenever Hunter wakes up, and if Hunter is still sleeping by noon, which he won't be, but if he is, I'll just send Dan down to go get food from the food truck. All right, even the powder foundation, the Shea Butter Hydrating Powder Foundation is on sale this month as well. So all of my complexion face products are up to 25% off. This is actually my favorite sale. It only happens twice a year. So if you are needing a refill on foundation, this is a good time to stock up. I'm actually just looking for my face primer. Or if you're wanting to try a new foundation, this is a great time to grab it while it's on sale. And then if you don't love it, you can actually get a full refund within 14 days, okay? And I'll get you color matched as well. So if you're worried about not knowing how to buy a foundation online because of like the color match, I'll get you color matched. So if you all do need that complimentary color match, just comment. You can actually comment on these videos. Just comment a purple heart so I know that that's something that you are needing. So I'm going to use a mattifying face primer. I actually have drier skin, but I can still use this mattifying face primer. I actually use it as in the summertime because it gets super humid here. So if I use my hydrating dewy primer, sometimes it just makes me look sweaty. So I'm going to use this mattifying primer. I also just put a bunch of oil on my face. So if I have all this oil on my face and then I use a hydrating primer, I'm going to look so oily. So I do kind of fluctuate my face primers with the climate. So if it's drier climate, definitely get a hydrating primer. If you live in a humid climate, I do definitely recommend a mattifying primer, but this mattifying primer isn't going to dry you out. So it's actually still pretty, it does have like ingredients in it that are still a little bit hydrating. And all of the foundations that I have skincare. All infused with skincare. And they all follow the European Union guidelines, which bans like over a thousand chemicals. Okay, so a clean makeup line, and then 10% of all sales go towards Sapria. And Sapria is a foundation that helps women who were sexually abused as children go on healing retreats. So they are adults now, and it literally a free retreat. They do it twice a year, and they help with healing techniques, coping techniques. And then they help them even after the retreat. So thank y'all. If you've ever purchased from me, you are literally changing lives. Okay, so when you put your face primer on, you do want it to dry for at least 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to put my foundation straight on though because I don't think you all want to stare at me for 3 to 5 minutes while it dries. But we will talk about, I guess we could talk about the serum. So I am using a serum infused foundation today. I've been using this the last few days, but I normally haven't been using it on a live video because the droppers have been breaking, and I didn't feel comfortable using it and then having you guys buy it when I knew the droppers weren't working. Well, April 1st, start of April 1st, they are all new droppers. They are straight droppers, no angle anymore. The droppers work now, so I will be using this like crazy. Now that I know when you guys buy it, you're not going to get a damaged product because they did completely repackage it. If you did buy a Serum Plus from me in the past, you should have a 30% off coupon to use towards the new packaging. So if you've ever bought a Serum Plus from me and you don't see that coupon, let me know. And I am still going through my messenger and messaging everyone that has purchased from me, but I haven't gotten to you yet and you're seeing this, then you can definitely reach out. Okay, so with the serum, I'm going to mix two shades because I'm kind of in between right now. But you do want to empty out the dropper, and you have to shake this up to mix up the serum, okay? So you have to shake it up. There is no preservatives in here holding it like all together, so you have to shake it. Have to. So this does have sodium hyaluronate in here, which is a form of hyaluronic acid. That's what's going to help plump and hydrate your face. It really does give like a bouncy filter finish. So I'm mixing eyelet and organza, and I did actually use tanning drops last night, but I didn't use enough. So when I use my tanning drops, I'm eyelet. When I don't use my tanning drops, I am organza. Okay, so sodium hyaluronate is going to help the skin appear healthy, more hydrated, and more bouncy. And I'm going to use a blending bud to blend this out. And I am actually just going to put it on my hand here and mix these. I don't like to put it straight on my face. I don't know why. Sometimes I do, but then when I do it, it just grosses me out. Because I feel like I'm like touching dirt on my face and then putting it back in the bottle. Okay, so I'm going to mix these two shades. I'll probably need more. And then you just kind of dab it. This foundation also has blue light blockers in it. So if you work from your phone or from your computer, it's like an amino acid derivative. And it helps from like any other environmental stressors, free radicals. This actually might be good. So this is a new bud I've been using, a new makeup sponge. It's from Ophir, and you can use it wet or dry. And I usually wet my blending buds, but when I wet this one, I don't feel like it worked as well. So I actually prefer it dry, which is even better because then I don't have to remember to get it wet in the sink. And then I don't have to spray it. I actually haven't tried spraying it yet with like rose water, but I could try that too. That's usually what I do. Okay, and then I'm pressing it into my skin. This is the foundation that my mom uses, loves, and swears by. Honestly, she was the only customer that was buying it and just dealing with the broken dropper, but they did repackage it, so none of the droppers are completely new, and it's completely new packaging, but it's the same formula. My mom was just like, I don't care, like, she's obsessed with it. And she's 55, she lives in Texas. She does have dry skin, more dry skin, and she uses this Serum Plus with the hydrating primer. Okay, and then I'm not putting the foundation under my eyes. If I build foundation and then concealer on top, it is going to make me look so much older. So I have really thin under eyes, very dry under eyes, and I'm starting to just see like signs of aging, like little lines and crow's feet. Put this somewhere. So I can't layer it on. So I leave my under eyes bare so that it's just room. I leave room just for my concealer. Make sure I have this blended. So here's the thing with this serum foundation. Gosh, hold on. I need a little bit more down there. It actually looks better the longer you have it on. So it always looks like just like a soft, natural finish. It is the craziest foundation. It is a liquid foundation, but it doesn't go on super dewy. It has more of just like a velvety look, I feel like. If you do really want that dew, then I recommend using the Hydrating Dewy Primer underneath. I'm sweating. It is probably hot outside, I guess. So we live in North Carolina, but it's been a struggle with the weather has been so up and down, we honestly can't keep up with like the temperature of the house. It'll get really cold, so we'll turn on the heat, and then the next day it's hot, and then we're all sweating, like literally sitting in our house sweating. So then we cut the air on, and then the temperature drops. It's been so like up and down lately, and it was cold this morning, so I know Dan put the heat on because I could feel it, but I also think the temperature is probably getting hot. So I'm excited just to have the North Carolina weather. Well, I don't know how excited I am about the humidity, but just where you wake up and it's just like hot, so we don't have to keep like going up and down with the temperature. And I wanted to go for a walk this morning, but it was 45 degrees. So we didn't go, but I am excited for those morning walks because in the South, it is like you wake up in the morning and it's chilly. I mean, it's warm, sorry. It's like hot. So I'm excited to take Hunter for some morning walks and not be cold. Okay, I've been popping my concealer on the inner corner and on the outer corner. And I try to avoid my under eye area with most of the product. I kind of just blend it in the center, but I focus most of it on the inner and outer corner just to give me more of like an eye lift look, and then a brighter look and a less tired look. And I'm using the same blending bud. I remember when my bicep is actually burning right now. I'm a little sore from working out, and then I teach boxing classes on Saturdays, and I hold mitts. I don't feel like I held them any longer than I normally do, but my bicep is so sore. So that actually, I'm going to try to use my left hand. That was making my bicep burn. But I remember, so I love using a blending bud to blend my foundation. Blending buds or kabuki brush. Okay, this is too hard. But I couldn't use a blending bud when I was pregnant because I had such bad carpal tunnel. That just reminded me of that. All the crazy stuff that pregnancy does to your body. I guess you just forget, although I have not forgotten the pain of contractions, and I remember everyone saying that you just like forget about it. I have yet to forget about that pain, and it's been 9 months. And I still remember how painful it was. And I had an epidural, but it only worked on half of my side. Like one leg was numb, the other leg was not. So I told Dan, I'm like, so since it only worked like half, do we get 50% off? And I actually had a really good labor and delivery. It was very quick. I got the epidural when I was 7 centimeters, when I was dilated at a 7, which I actually asked for it sooner, but it took them almost, I feel like it was like an hour before the doctor finally came in. So now I know, like, for the next baby, if I need to just make a plan for an epidural and not wait. Because it took so long for the doctor to come in, and I didn't realize that was like, I thought that when I was ready for the epidural, the doctor would would be in there, but no, it was like a long wait. And at that point, I should have just toughed it out, because Hunter came like less than an hour later after my epidural. Maybe an hour. He came very quickly after after I got the epidural. And if I would have known that it was going to be that quick, I would have just waited. I would have just waited, but I was in so much pain, and honestly, in my mind, I always heard stories of people being in labor for like 46 hours, and I thought that when someone said that meant you were in this much pain for 46 hours. So I was like, oh, hell no, I can't do this for 46 hours. So that's why I asked for the epidural. But I didn't realize that when someone says they're in labor, they literally mean from like the start of like the easy part. I thought when someone said that, it was that much of pain. So I'm gonna use the shea butter powder. This also has chamomile in it too, to contour. This is also a part of the sale, so if you guys are wanting like a contour highlight set, you can do it with the powder, you can do it with the stick foundation. The stick foundation is going to give more of like a creamy, dewy look, if that's something that you are into, which I usually actually am. I love looking dewy. But I've been using this serum foundation all week long, and that's kind of how it goes for me. I'll use something for a while, and then I'll be obsessed with it, and then I'll use something else, and then I'm obsessed with it, and I kind of switch around a lot. But I truly can wear all of the foundations. Ever since I started using like a skincare line that was customized to like my skin, I can now wear all of the foundations, but before I only used the stick. I couldn't even use a spray foundation. My skin was too dry, even though I used it for my wedding. But truthfully, after doing skincare, the spray looked so much better on my skin. And we didn't have the Serum Plus before I used this skincare, so I don't know how my skin would have been on it, because the Serum Plus is a newer foundation. But I would always wear the stick because it was so creamy and I was so dry, and I could only use the hydrating face primer. I couldn't use the mattifying one, I couldn't use the combo, the vitamin E combination skin one. My skin was way too dry. And then I started exfoliating twice a week using a brightening serum, and then a customized cleanser and a customized day cream and night cream. And now I can use all of the primers. Like I said, now I just switch it out depending on the climate. And I can use all of the foundations. And as far as the foundation goes, I just kind of decide like the mood that I'm in. Like if I'm in a hurry and I want full coverage dewy, I'll use the stick foundation. If I have a little bit of more time, like I do now today, I'll use the serum. If I just want a really light foundation, I'll do the BB cream. Okay, this is the cream blush. It is a part of the sale. They brought it back. It was Black Friday. It launched during Black Friday, and it sold out like within, I think, 2 days or so. And this is the first time they're bringing it back onto the website. So 4 different shades. This is the Fresh Orchid. Good morning, April, that I'm using. And I actually like to use this color and then top it with a little bit of the Peony Pink, which is a really light pink. And I like to put it right just up on the top right here. And there is a sponge on the other side, but I don't know, I like the kabuki brush. The kabuki brush blends out everything so nicely. Okay, and the cream blush is going to give a glow. Look at how shiny. So I still get the dew right on my cheeks. And I actually don't really use a highlighter when I'm using this blush, because I don't feel like I need it, because it has such a good creamy look. And I noticed on the website yesterday that it said it's matte, but this is not matte to me. This does not look matte at all. So very creamy in my opinion. I'm going to blend out my concealer a little bit. Okay. I told Dan to come upstairs so we could talk about the food that we're going to eat. So Dan and I love food. We love to eat. We were feasting last night. Good morning, Faith. It is morning, isn't it? See, that's what's so weird about being up so early with a baby, is I literally feel like it's 2 o'clock right now. Okay, I'm going to use my cucumber infused setting spray. This is going to help give me a glow because of that cucumber. If you have dry skin and you don't like setting powders like me, you can grab this in the Flawless 4. This is also on sale. You can use this to prime too. You can use that as a primer. The only time I use that as a primer is if I'm in a really big hurry. But I like an actual, more like a based primer for longer lasting, and then also helps prevent from like seeping in pores. I don't really feel like this helps my foundation last as long as a primer, but I do love it as a setting. I also like setting with it because it doesn't take away the finish. That's why I don't like setting powders, because they mattify everything. I don't want to look matte. I want to look youthful and glowing and hydrated and like healthy and bouncy. I don't know, my skin, I just don't like it matte. Really, the only thing I like matte is my eyeshadow. And actually lipstick. I like a matte lipstick. But I wanted Dan to come upstairs so we could talk about all the food that's on the food truck. Because that is part of our life. Like, we sit at home. We go for walks. We eat. We play video games with my brother. My brothers, I should say. So we play, I have 3 brothers. We play Call of Duty with 2 of my brothers pretty often, and then sometimes with my older brother. And I'm not good at it. It's just fun. Like, I enjoy it because I get to talk to my brothers. Like, they probably think I'm definitely that annoying older sister. Good morning, Trina. Because when we're playing, I'm like asking them, how was work? What are you guys up to? What's new? It's like I'm basically talking to them on the phone. And then my mom will call and she'll be telling me about one of my brothers, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know, I talked to him yesterday. Or I talked to him pretty much every day, and my mom's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, because we play video games. And she does think it is the lamest thing ever. But I would never just play it by myself. I'm like, Mom, I don't get on Call of Duty and just play by myself. I play when my brothers are playing. And it's fun because Dan plays. So Dan has his own TV and his own system. I have my own TV and my own system. And it's just fun to like hang out with the bros, with my brothers. And I like the relationship that Dan has built with my brothers because of Call of Duty. Like, my brothers don't live here. I have 1 brother in Texas, 2 brothers in Idaho. So literally, I'm on the other side of the country from my family. So it's nice to have something where we can play together. And we play like 4 times a week. We usually put Hunter to bed, I finish up work, and then we play. Okay, my brows have been but since I did grow up with 3 brothers, so I have 3 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the second oldest, so it's brother, me, brother, sister. Me and my sister who's the youngest, we are 8 years apart. Where's my blonde? That meant a lot of boy stuff. Even my sister plays video games with my brothers. Like, they play, Is that a game? I know your guys' sons play all these games because we've talked about it. D&D. Do your sons or grandsons play D&D? My sister plays that. I think that's what it's called, with my brothers. And my sister's in Idaho. My dad's in Idaho. My mom's in Texas. So actually, most of my family's in Idaho and Utah. And then slowly moving to Texas. Okay, but I didn't grow up with, like, girly stuff where, I grew up around boys. Even my mom was super athletic, so we were always watching baseball. That's why I love baseball so much. I even had, like, almost all of my boyfriends back in the day played baseball. I mean, I was obsessed with baseball. My husband, Dan, actually played college basketball, and he doesn't like baseball, which is why I haven't been watching it as much lately. But Dan will go to, like, live baseball games. He just doesn't like watching baseball on TV, which for me, I love baseball. But I don't love it enough at this point to sit and watch it by myself, so, like, on TV. Okay, and then when I moved out to Charlotte, so I'm from Idaho, I moved out to Charlotte, North Carolina, after I graduated from college, from Idaho State. My degree I have a bachelor's degree in exercise science, so I do still teach boxing classes. I am almost done with a couple certificates, which I've been talking about forever, but I am going to teach from Zoom, because, I love working from home, so I'm going to get back into my Zoom workout classes that I did actually almost all of 2020. I did workouts from Zoom. So I'm going to get back into that, but with a new format. So I moved out here, and when we moved out here, we stopped. It was me, my sister, my mom, and my stepdad. We stopped at every city that had a baseball team. Single A, triple A, single A, double A, triple A. We did go to a Kansas City Royals game. That was the only MLB team that we went to. Good morning, Renee. But like we love baseball, so that was really fun. Like driving from Idaho all the way out to North Carolina and hitting up baseball games in every state that we stayed over in. We went to Mount Rushmore. We did a lot of cool stuff. Hi, Jen. So it was really fun. But as far as, I'm trying to decide what color to use. So, y'all, I've been using a lot of matte eyeshadows, and then as far as metallic goes, or like shimmer, I really always kind of lean more towards this because it's a little bit of a creamier texture and it doesn't dry me out. I don't feel like it makes my eyelids look older. It doesn't sit in any of the lines that I have. But I'm trying to decide what color to wear with the pink shirt. So clearly I use that one a lot. It's almost gone. I've never completely used an eyeshadow before, other than a white eyeshadow, because I use it in the inner corner. This is the first eyeshadow palette where I've actually seen the bottom of the color, because that's how much I use it. Let's do this one. Kind of like a copper color, and this palette actually looks really good with all eye colors. Brown eyes, blue eyes, because it has the yellows, the coppers, the orange, the bronze, the raspberry color. And I do usually use my finger. I'll use my finger at first, and then I'll go in with a fluffy crease brush and kind of blend it out. Oh, use the pink. I just saw that, Faith. That's so funny that's the least color that I use. Have you all ever used an orange eyeshadow or a yellow? It's scary, but I'm telling y'all, it is a game changer. Can we absolutely, Trina? Yes. So one of the classes, it'll be a strength class, so you will need dumbbells. I mean, you could do it without dumbbells. It'll still be hard, honestly, because there's push-ups, squats. And then the other class class, you will just need, oh my gosh, this color is so pretty. And it's so much better look. Like, this is what it looks like. I have two phones going right now. But look at how pretty it is on the eye. So do not underestimate the power of this palette. This is seriously my favorite palette. And then for the base, I used Addiction Palette 10 for like my base color. And you can build it up. I could make this more bold if I wanted to. And then sometimes I like to pop a little bit of it on my waterline. So soft, and it doesn't make me look older, okay, which is awesome. I was talking to a hairstylist, just turned 30, and she was talking about getting Botox, and I was like, yeah, this, like, 30 years old is definitely a time where you start, like, seeing signs of aging, and it's the first, like, it's kind of for me that I'm at the phase where I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm just seeing new textures to my face. So, good morning, Brooke. It's not a bad thing, it's just something different. I'm like you're used to looking at yourself in the mirror and not seeing any kind of anything, and then you start seeing age spots and fine lines, and it's just a phase, like it's just that new phase of life where it's like, holy cow. And for me, I'm just like, where has the time gone? I'm 33. Where has the time gone? We met this really sweet couple at Amelie's yesterday. So Charlotte has a few locations of a place called Amelie's. It's a French bakery. It's the best, like seriously the best. But there's this couple sitting next to us. They are newly empty nesters. Their daughter just graduated high school. She's a senior at Tennessee. Thank you, Brooke. It's from the Volume 3 palette, and I'm using this color. It looks so orange, and it's really not that orange. It's almost like a bronzy look. But their daughter was so this is when I use the Fluffy. I just kind of tap it in a little bit. She's a senior at college, and they were just kind of talking about how kind of like their life is starting over again. Like they're empty nesters. They were out at the French bakery. It was, I don't remember what time it was. It was yesterday afternoon-ish, and they're just like living their best life. I don't know how old they were. They have a senior in college, so maybe 50s or 60s. They looked amazing, and I told Dan, I'm like, see, we gotta stay healthy, so that way when we are empty nesters, it's like, you just start having fun again. You start traveling again. It's like back to what it was like when Dan and I were first dating, right? So I feel like there's so many different phases of life that are exciting. And then I was telling them, because she was a pediatrician, and she was like, I was like, next thing you know, before you know it, you'll be a grandma. And she said she was excited to be a grandma. So I feel like it's just like never-ending. Life is just like never-ending excitement. If you look at life that way, if you look at life like a pessimistic outlook on life, then you're probably not a very happy person. But each phase of life, there's always something to be thankful for. There's always something to look forward to, no matter what age you are. I just think, like, for me, I actually really liked turning 30, but now that I'm 33, and like I said, I'm starting to just see changes in my skin, obviously my body, because I had a baby. It's more so of just like, okay, how am I switching my mindset now with this like kind of new phase of my life? I'm a mom now. My schedule is completely different. My workouts look completely different, and I actually don't work out like with the same mindset I used to. When I used to go to the gym, it was like, like lifting as heavy as I could. I mean, I was crazy, and eating like a crazy person, like eating extremely healthy, like literally, y'all, if you've been watching me for 3 years, you probably remember that, Kayla, but that's just not realistic for me right now with a kid, having a 9-month-old, and now when I go to the gym, I was actually joking with the trainer because the trainers are always trying to make me lift heavier, and I'm like, I'm just not about that anymore. I'm like, I'm here at the gym working out because I need a break from home. Like, I work out now for like me time. It's not so much like I'm not trying to be faster or stronger or better. It's more so like I am trying to be healthy, but I'm trying to move my body and have a little bit of me time. And I actually do really like to work out. So, I mean, not every day though. Sometimes when I'm going to the gym, I absolutely don't want to go. But I remember how good it makes me feel afterwards. It definitely gives me more energy. It makes me a better mom. It just, all the endorphins. I mean, I can't live without exercise for that reason. I had a baby at 40, so yeah, we have a long while. Yeah, you have a long while before empty nester. So you have, how old is your baby, Brooke? So you have 18 years? Hopefully it doesn't go by fast. That's what I mean, right? Enjoying like the time you have now. 2, so you have 16 years. But see, when I tell Dan that, when I think of like when we are, I think so. I printed out my April calendar. Some big goals in April. I was telling them about the couple at Amelie's, and then how in the car we were talking about. We were talking about when we're empty nesters, and then we were like, wow, that is like, I can't imagine being 60 yet. But then we were like, but then we're literally gonna have the time of our lives. I was like, we gotta stay healthy. So when we're 60, we're just literally living our best life. We're both working careers that we can have that kind of freedom when we're 60. We're kind of big planners over here. And your oldest is almost 13. Do you have the 2? Or how many do you have? Yeah, time goes by way too fast. With Hunter being 9 months old, this is a really fun phase. And I always have to stop myself whenever I say, oh, I can't wait until because we walked past a Chuck E. Cheese, and I was like, I can't wait until he's 2 years old so we can go to Chuck E. Cheese's. And then I always stop myself, and I'm like, no, I can wait. Like, this is a good time right now. I do not want to. I love life so much. I don't want my time to end, although, when the second coming comes, I'm going to be happy with that as well. But I'm also just, like, so happy with life. I even said that last night in bed, didn't I? What did I say last night after I prayed? Yeah, I was like, we have such a blessed life. I was like, I'm so happy. 13, 11, 7, and 2. Your youngest will be 19. So are you an empty nester now, Renee? I remember when my mom became an empty nester, she was excited for like 2 days. And then she was sad. That's what I said to that couple at Amelie's. I'm like, oh, empty nesters. And they're like, yeah, we're so excited. And I said, we'll see how long that lasts. My mom got sad real quick. My mom has 5. My mom got really sad. Okay, let's do our lips, and then we are done. Ooh, I have pepper. But then my mom was sad, but then she lives in Texas now, and I know a few of my other siblings are probably gonna move there, and she's like, yeah, no, they can't live with me, like when I don't know. So it's funny because she was sad, but then now I feel like she's been an empty nester for a while now. I feel like, well, she's had my siblings kind of move in and out, I guess, with her as they've like transitioned through different seasons of their life. Okay, this is my favorite lip liner. It's called Patience. It kind of matches like the same tone of my lips, which is why I really like it. Thank you, Faith. He's still here working and moving out, but he's hardly here. That's kind of how it is, I feel like, at that phase. I mean, I lived with my mom when we moved to Charlotte. I lived with my mom, so I had graduated college, and I lived with my mom for like 3 or 4 months. While I was just saving up enough to get my own place, and then I did get my own apartment, and it was like literally down the street from her house. And my mom used to live here in North Carolina. Now my mom is in Texas, but she moved to Virginia for her husband's job. Then she moved to Colorado to kind of help and be with my brother. Then she moved back home to Idaho to take care of her parents. So she quit her job in Colorado, moved to live with her parents to be their like in-home caretaker. When is the food truck? Sorry, are we going? I guess if Hunter's not awake, you could go get food. Yeah. What was I saying? For me, I think I want to do this color. This is what I've been using. This is one of the new lip butters, Sunshine and Sprinkles, and it smells like watermelon. It smells so good. Oh, my mom moved to Idaho to take care of her parents, who they passed away. My grandma and grandpa passed away 24, oh, I don't even have my mascara on. That's so funny. How did I not notice that? They passed away within 24 hours of each other. It was actually a love story. They published it in my little hometown back home. They did a whole like story on my grandparents. So my grandpa got diagnosed with cancer, and then they gave him, I can't remember how many months, not a long time, to survive, and my grandma just was like really stressing out about being left behind. So my grandpa's literally like the epitome of like the perfect man. I'm telling y'all, has everything. Hardworking, he's kind, he's thoughtful. He would put lotion on my grandma every single night before bed, on her feet, forever, her whole life, every single night till the end. He put lotion on my grandma's feet. Is that not the sweetest thing ever? I told Dan that. I'm like, lotion on my feet every night. That would be so awesome. But I feel like that's just, I don't know. Honestly, I would love that. But he was just so selfless and hardworking. I mean, he taught me everything that, like, he's a huge part of why I am the way that I am and why my mom is the way that she is. All right, let's put mascara on. But he stuck it out. He lived for 10 months after, and my grandma actually passed before him, and then my grandpa was like, okay, it's my time to go. And then my grandpa passed away less than 24 hours later, and they were both in their own home. So that's why my mom moved back to Idaho, so she lived with them and took care of them. And now she's in Texas. Where my brother is, so that's why she moved to Texas. My brother's there with his 4 kids, and I have a cousin there. Dan and I have talked about moving to Texas because we don't have any family in North Carolina. We love North Carolina. I don't want to leave North Carolina, but it's hard having kids and not having any family. Around. Oh, Hunter's awake. So I'm warming up my 4D Fiber mascara. I like my mascara warm. I feel like if I put my mascara on cold, it looks a little bit chunkier. So I like to warm it up. So look, this is actually, I have one of my tabs on my computer is one of the fitness classes. So the reason what's taking me so long is that it's choreographed. So I have to memorize, and that's really hard for me right now. Just like having, I can't remember anything, like having a baby. When I've taught something similar, it's called high fitness. I just can't teach it anymore because it's too much jumping and it really hurts my knees. I've had 2 knee surgeries, so I have arthritis and I can't do all of the jumping. So I stopped teaching that, but it was choreographed. It did not take me, like I could like come up with, I think there's 15 songs per track. 2 days before I taught and be fine. I could memorize it. It was no worries. I've been trying to memorize these 10 songs for like 4 months. Ooh, what part of Texas? I like Texas. It reminds me of North Carolina and Idaho. It's like, you know, it has nice weather. Then where my brother and sister-in-law live, it like reminds me of my hometown. Kind of like more of a small town feel. So to get certified, I took the course, which it was like an 8-hour course, and then you have to pass like one song via Zoom during the course. So I did pass that, but then you have to record yourself doing the class and send it in, and that is the part where I haven't done yet. Yeah. So we can take him, and guess what? I'm almost done. Okay, 4D fiber mascara. This stuff is crazy. Look at the length of my lashes. This stuff is insane. It's a fiber mascara, so that's how I get length. I can actually see one of the fibers. I don't know if you can see. So there's little Y fibers. So there is a technique to this mascara. You do want to twist it because it has different sides to the brush. And then it attaches those little fibers and it makes your lashes longer. So it does actually add length. I don't typically like putting this mascara on my bottom lashes, but it already got on there, so I don't like my bottom lashes looking long. Yeah, so my family is in Dallas, Fort Worth, and then east of Dallas. And the lakes there are pretty. The lakes in North Carolina, or at least where I live, are gross. It looks like the river. Even we drove past when my dad was visiting. So the lakes in Idaho and Utah are gorgeous. So we go to Bear Lake every year for our family reunion, and every time I post pictures of the lake, people in North Carolina always message me and they say, wow, what beach are you at? Because it's blue, and then there's the mountains. Bear Lake is the most gorgeous lake ever. And Lake Havasu in Arizona is really pretty, but it's blue. So my dad was here for our wedding, and we drove over the bridge. We live right by the lake. We actually have like lake access, but we don't ever go because it's dirty. It looks like the river, so we drove over it, and my dad was like, ooh, you guys live by a river? I could go fishing. And I was like, Dad, this is not a river, that's a lake. And he was like, ew, why is it brown? So yeah, the lakes here are dirty. I don't know. I miss the lakes out west. This mascara is crazy. Do y'all see that? It lasts. I have worked out in this mascara. I have taught my cardio classes in this mascara, and it doesn't run everywhere. So it doesn't smudge and run. It's a really comfortable mascara. Perfect timing, buddy. Say hi. Hi, babe. I was doing that.
Just look to one side a little bit.
Blue side. You want to say hi? You could say hi too, Fletchy. Alright, y'all. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for hanging out. You want to be in the center of the show? Where have you been? Anyways, thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you later. Say bye.